Cambridge Primary Science. 2 living things in the environment. 2.1 food chains in a local habitat. Lindiwe lives in Zambia. She is proud of her vegetable garden. She grows maize, spinach and pumpkins. Although vegetables grow fast in the warm sun, it is the dry season, so Lindiwe must water her garden every day. The vegetable garden is the home or habitat of many plants and animals. There is a feeding relationship between some plants and animals. For example, caterpillars eat spinach leaves and stalk borers make holes in the maize stalks. Other animals help to fight these pests. Some birds eat caterpillars and lizards eat stalk borers. Words to learn: feeding relationship. Pests depict food chain species. The leaf is food for the caterpillar. Food chains. We can depict a feeding relationship using a food chain. 1. A food chain describes the feeding relationship between a plant and an animal. One food chain is spinach, caterpillar. The arrow means is eaten by. So this food chain tells us that spinach is eaten by the caterpillar. Look at food chains 1 and 2, opposite. Write each one in words with an arrow. Activity 2.1. Describe a habitat in your area. Visit a local habitat such as a garden. Identify the species of plants and animals. List all the plants and animals can see you. Look under leaves, on bushes and under dead leaves on the ground to find insects. Look in the sky and in the trees for birds. Observe feeding relationships between plants and animals. Discuss other ways that plants and animals depend on each other in your habitat. Questions. 1. Name 3 plants and 3 animals in your habitat. 2. Draw 3 food chains to represent feeding relationships that you observed. 3. How else do plants and animals depend on each other in your habitat? 4. Draw 2 food chains involving a plant and an animal in Lindiwe's garden. What you have learnt. A habitat is a home in the environment for plants and animals. Food chains describe the feeding relationship between plants and animals. Talk about it. What would animals and humans eat if we had no plants? 2.2 Food chains begin with plants. Plants. Everything that we and all animals do, such as moving, breathing, eating and sleeping, needs energy. We get energy from food. All our food comes from plants. We either eat plants or we eat animals which have eaten plants. Look back to the food chains in topic 2.1. Each began with a plant. Plants are unique because they produce their own food. For this reason we call a plant a producer. Animals and humans cannot make their own food. They eat or consume plants, so an animal is called a consumer. Look again at the feeding relationships in these 2 food chains. 1. 2. Words to learn. Energy, unique producer. Consumer factor. Plants are essential to life on Earth. In food chain 1, the corn is the producer and the chicken is the consumer. Identify the producer and consumer in food chain 2. If a boy eats the chicken in 1, he is also a consumer. So now the food chain is corn, chicken, right pointing arrow, human. Questions. 1. Rearrange the living things in each feeding relationship to make food chains. A spinach, bird, caterpillar. B. Human, grass, sheep. How do plants make food? Plants make food in their leaves from sunlight, water and carbon dioxide. A plant must have all 3 of these factors. If a plant gets sunlight and carbon dioxide, but not enough water, it will wither. In this unhealthy state, it will not make food. Water. Sun. The plant takes in energy from the sun and uses it to change water and carbon dioxide into sugar and oxygen. It stores the sugar. The oxygen is a waste product, so the plant sends it back to the air. When an animal eats a plant, it gets energy from the sugar stored in the plant. Plants also take in nutrients such as iron and magnesium. These are dissolved in water in the soil. The plant takes in the water and nutrients through its roots. Activity 2.2. Investigating what plants need to survive and make food. Plan 2 investigations to show 1. That plants need water, and 2. That plants need sunlight. Before you begin, predict what will happen to your plants. Questions. 1. Identify the factor relevant in each investigation. 2. What did you predict in each investigation? 3. What evidence did you find to support your predictions? Suggest explanations for your predictions based on what you know already. What you have learned. Plants are producers because they make their own food. Animals are consumers because they eat plants. You will need 4 pots with healthy seedlings. Talk about it. What happens to all the oxygen that plants put back into the air? 2 living things in the environment. Carbon dioxide in air. 2.3 consumers in food chains. Words to learn. Predator, prey, consumers. Some animals eat mainly plants. Some animals eat other animals. An animal that eats other animals is called a predator. The animals that it kills and eats are its prey. Look at these examples. The owl is a predator and his prey is the mouse. A frog is a predator because it eats insects. The frog has to be quick, it shoots out its sticky tongue to catch its prey. Sometimes there is more than one predator in a food chain. Snakes are predators. Some kill their prey with venom, poison, but this snake is swallowing its prey. An egg, whole. The grasshopper eats the plant. Then the grasshopper becomes the prey for the lizard, which is the predator. Then the lizard becomes the prey of the hawk, which is another predator. Questions. 1. Think back to your local habitat. Name 2 predators. What is the prey for each predator? 2. Look at the animals in the picture. There are 5 predators and their prey. Match each predator with its prey. 3. Draw a food chain to depict one of the predator and prey pairs. Start with a producer. 4. Identify the pattern in the food chains you have described. Polar bear, seal, fish, fly, frog, antelope, spider, challenge, seagull, cheetah, a Venus flytrap catching a fly. The Venus flytrap grows in soils which have few nutrients. It can make sugar from sunlight, like other plants. But it also traps flies and dissolves them. It uses nutrients from the fly's body. Why is it so useful for the fly trap to trap flies? Can you find out the names of 2 more predator plants? What you have learned. Predators are consumers that eat other animals. Animals eaten by predators are called their prey. Talk about it. Are there any animals that never become prey for another animal? 2.4 Food chains in different habitats. Different habitats. There are many habitats on the Earth. This is because there are many climates which result in different plants. In hot, wet climates there are tropical forests. In dry climates only a few desert plants grow. Different plants attract different animals. So we find different food chains according to the habitat. Food chains in a savanna habitat. Words to learn. Tropical, savanna, plankton, desert. The savanna covers a large part of Africa. It is hot all year and the rain comes mainly in summer. Grass and scattered trees grow there. Some animals eat the grass and trees. Others are predators. This is a food chain in a savanna habitat. Discuss what is happening in the food chain. Which are the producers? Which are the consumers? Which consumers are predators and which are prey? What does each animal eat? P, C, P, R, prey. Savanna in Africa. C, predator, prey. Giraffe. C, prey. Producer. C, prey. Zebra. Wildebeest. Wild dog. C, predator. Lion. C, predator. Hyena. Cheetah. E, predator. Food chains in an ocean habitat. Almost 3/4 of the Earth's surface is ocean, so ocean habitats are very important. There are many types of seaweed. Most plants and Animals are so small you can't see them with the naked eye. These are called plankton. Some sea animals only eat plankton. Others are predators. Discuss what you can see in the picture of a food chain in the ocean. Which are the producers, predators and prey? Who is eating who? Questions. Compare the producers in the savanna. The basking shark can reach a length of 8 meters, but it eats only plankton. And ocean habitats. Producers in savanna. They are plants, we can see them. Producers in oceans. Seaweed, plankton which we cannot see by naked eye. Comma. In the savanna habitat. Name 3 animals that only eat plants. Which plants do they eat? B. Draw 2 food chains containing predator and prey relationships. In the ocean habitat. Draw 2 food chains containing 1 predator and its prey. B. Draw 2 food chains containing 2 predators and their prey. What you have learnt. Different habitats contain different plants and animals. This leads to different food chains. Talk about it. What would happen if all predators in the savanna habitat suddenly died? 2.5 Deforestation. Tropical rainforests are cut down at the rate of 1 football field every second. Deforestation happens when we destroy forests by cutting down trees. Why does this happen? The main reasons are to collect wood to make furniture, to collect wood to burn as a fuel, to clear land for farming, to clear land for cities, to clear land for mining. Words to learn. Deforestation. Negative environment. Greenhouse gases, global warming. Conserve. M2. 2. Deforestation has negative effects on the environment. When trees are cut down in the rainforest, it can take 100 years for new trees to become fully grown. Without trees, there are no rotting leaves to make compost. This makes the soil poor. Grasses grow, but not trees. Plants and animals in the forest will disappear. Cattle grazing on land that used to be covered with forest. Trees take carbon dioxide from the air to make food. So forests remove carbon dioxide and help to reduce global warming. Also, trees give out oxygen which humans and animals need to survive. Why are forests so important? Habitats. In a patch of rainforest 6 kilometers square, there can be 1,500 kinds of plant, 400 kinds of bird, 150 kinds of butterfly and 100 kinds of reptile. Medicines. People who live in the forests have found many plants that cure human diseases. A lot of modern drugs were originally made from forest plants, removing carbon dioxide and giving us oxygen. The Earth is becoming hotter because humans are putting more gases like carbon dioxide into the air. These are called greenhouse gases because they trap the heat like a greenhouse does. The process where the Earth is getting warmer is called global warming. Activity 2.5. Plant a tree. You can help remove carbon dioxide from the air by planting a tree. Go to a plant nursery or a friend with a garden and ask them to donate a seedling. What kind of tree would you like? How about a shade tree? Would you like a fruit tree? Ask the person how and where to plant your tree and how often you must water it. Questions. 1. It takes 100 years for new tree to become fully grown. Global warming, no more rotting leaves to make compost. 1. Identify 3 negative factors that result from deforestation. 2. Compare the soil in a forest area before and after deforestation. 3. Explain why buying second-hand wooden furniture is a good way to conserve forests. 4. Predict what would happen to the carbon dioxide and oxygen in the air if all forests were destroyed. 2. Before deforestation, soil was covered by trees and plants. After deforestation, no trees and no more plants. What you have learnt. Deforestation happens when people destroy forests by cutting down trees. Deforestation has a negative effect on the environment. 4. Oxygen level will decrease in the air. Carbon dioxide level will increase in the air. Talk about it. Why do you think the forests are called the lungs of the earth? HW for the 26th of January 2022, page 23, activity book. 3. Because we don't need to cut new trees to make new furniture. 2 living things in the environment. 31. Pollution. It is when the environment is contaminated by waste, chemicals and harmful substances. Pollutant. Substances which cause pollution. 2.6 Air pollution. Bronchitis. A lung infection that can be caused by polluted air. Asthma. An allergic reaction that causes a person to have difficulty breathing. Our atmosphere consists mainly of 2 gases, nitrogen and oxygen. There are smaller amounts of carbon dioxide and water vapor. None of these gases are harmful. But people pollute our atmosphere with particles of other gases. Carbon monoxide is poisonous. New cars are less polluting than older ones because they are fitted with a device that changes the exhaust gases into carbon dioxide. We burn coal and oil to give us energy. Wind power, solar power and water power do not cause pollution, but for many countries they are more expensive than coal or oil. Sometimes pollutants are blown away by the wind. But often dirty air lies over cities. Pollution has a negative effect on plants and animals. People in polluted areas often get bronchitis and asthma. Words to learn. Pollution, pollutants, bronchitis, asthma. Cars, motorcycles, buses and trucks give off carbon monoxide in exhaust fumes. Coal and oil burnt in factories and power stations give off the gases sulfur dioxide and nitrogen oxide. Activity 2.6. Measure dirt particles in the air. Mark an area of 4 by 1 centimeter with a marker pen on one side of each slide. Number the slides 1 to 5. Cover the other side of each slide with a thin layer of petroleum jelly. You will need 5 glass slides, petroleum jelly, black circle, a marker pen, tape, a hand lens. Tape the slides to 5 different sites. The petroleum jelly must face outwards. Choose sites where your slides will not be disturbed. Leave these slides for 1 week. Then carefully put the slides in a box and bring them to school. Do not to touch the petroleum jelly. Predict which slide is going to have the most pollution. Give reasons. Examine each slide with a hand lens. Can you see particles of dirt? Count the number of particles in each marked area. Record your results on a table. Draw a bar chart of your results. Make sure the petroleum questions jelly is facing out. 1. Compare your results with other groups. Which site is most polluted? Can you explain why? 2. Identify the pattern in your results. Did any sites not fit the pattern that you expected? 3. Did the evidence you collected support your predictions? 4. Work in a group to produce an information leaflet on another type of pollution. You could choose water or land pollution. Present your information to the class. What you have learnt. Air pollution is caused by exhaust fumes and gases from coal and oil that is burnt in factories and power stations. It has negative effects on the environment and people's health. Talk about it. What causes air pollution in your country? 2.7 Acid rain. All around the world, trees are dying. This is happening because of a kind of pollution called acid rain. When coal, oil and natural gas are burnt, they give off sulfur dioxide and nitrogen oxides. These gases dissolve in rainwater to form sulfuric acid and nitric acid. This makes the rain into acid rain. It can be as acidic as lemon juice. The picture shows how acid rain forms. The acid rain drains into lakes and makes the water in them acidic. Words to learn. Acid rain. Acid rain eats away at stone and damages. Eats away stone. Breaks down stone. Activity 2.7. Observe the effect of acid rain. Water one seedling with tap water. Water the other with lemon juice. Predict what will happen using what you know about acid rain. Observe what happens over the next few days. You will need 2 healthy seedlings growing in soil, black circle tap water, lemon juice, acid rain, rain that contains dissolved nitric oxides or sulfur dioxide. These compounds make the rain acidic. Dissolve. When a substance, often a solid, mixes with a liquid and becomes part of the liquid. Questions. 1. Compare the 2 plants after 5 days. What has happened to A. The leaves. B. The stems. HW for Monday the 31st of January 2022. Q. 4. Page 35 Learner Book. 2. Do these results support your predictions? How? 3. Use what you have learnt about acid rain to explain why these changes happened. 4. Research how acid rain can damage buildings. How does acid rain affect the environment? Soil contains nutrients that keep plants healthy. Plants take in nutrients through their roots. But acid rain washes nutrients out of the soil. The lack of nutrients weakens plants. They grow slowly and their leaves fall off. Plants need leaves to make food. With fewer leaves, plants make less food. Even large trees are damaged by acid rain. Pest attack can kill them because they are so weak and their branches die back. Eventually the trees die. All the leaves have fallen due to acid rain. Acid rain damages pine needles AF the end of the branches. The number of frogs is falling worldwide. Acid rain damages frog spawn and kills insects that frogs eat. What you have learnt. Acid rain is caused by sulfur dioxide dissolving in rainwater to form an acid. Acid rain damages plants, animals living in water and stone buildings. Talk about it. How could you demonstrate that acid rain damages stonework? 2. 2 living things in the environment. 35. 2.8 Recycling. Waste disposal is a problem. How do we get rid of the mountains of rubbish we all throw away? Most of it is taken to landfill sites like the one in the picture. Landfill sites are huge piles of rubbish near towns that are later covered with soil. If we can reduce the amount of our rubbish, we will be helping the environment. Recycling is when something is not thrown away but processed into something that can be used again. Reducing and recycling is something everyone can do at home, at school and at work. Next time you are going to put something in the bin, stop and think. Could it be recycled? Words to learn: waste disposal. Landfill. Reduce. Positive compost. Landfill sites take up valuable land which could be used for other things. This jar has been reused to collect tadpoles. Thabiso makes toy chickens like this one out of plastic bags. He has recycled the bags. Save the environment by recycling. Reusing and recycling are positive ways you can care for the environment by saving natural materials. Millions of trees are cut down to make wood pulp for paper. If you recycle paper, fewer trees are cut down. Use glass containers again or take them to be recycled. Glass can be melted down and reshaped to make new containers. It never becomes weaker. Drink cans are made from aluminium which can be recycled. It takes a lot of electricity to get aluminium from the rock it is found in. Recycling aluminium uses much less energy. Many types of plastic never rot away. Recycling plastic is expensive. Use things again instead of throwing them away. Reduce the plastic you use. If possible, don't buy fruit in plastic trays. Don't throw away all your kitchen and garden waste. You can recycle it by making compost. This will be good for the soil and your plants will grow better. Activity 2.8. Make compost. Collect vegetable peelings, fruit, eggshells. Collect grass cuttings, leaves and weeds. Put the waste into the bag. Add some water but do not make it too wet. Leave the compost in a warm place for a few weeks. When the compost is dark and mushy, it is ready. Spread it on the soil around your plants. You will need a large plastic bag. Food scraps, garden waste. Questions. 1. Suggest ways that you can use less paper. 2. Suggest ways you can reuse plastic containers. 3. Suggest how compost could help your plants. 4. Encourage people to recycle. Make a poster to put in a local hall. What you have learned. Recycling is when something is not thrown away but processed into something that can be used again. Reusing and recycling helps to care for our environment. Challenge. Go to the supermarket. List products in packaging that can be recycled. Talk about it. How can you and your family reuse and recycle at home? 2.9 Take care of your environment. Conserve our water and energy. Everyone can care for our environment by using less water and energy. This helps to conserve each resource. You can conserve, use less water quite easily. Here are some ideas. Have a shower instead of a bath. Never leave a tap dripping. Collect rainwater in a tank and use it for washing. Discuss other ways you can use less water. You can conserve, use less energy quite easily. Here are some ideas. Switch off electricity when you are not using it. Use energy-efficient bulbs. Walk or ride a bike rather than using a car or bus. Use solar panels to heat your water. They are much cheaper and cleaner than using an electric heater. Discuss other ways you can reduce energy consumption. Litter. Words to learn. Resource. Audit. Litter pollutes our environment. It looks horrible, it is dirty and it smells. It harms animals who eat it, thinking that it is food. It is food. Turtles eat plastic bags because they mistake them for jellyfish. The plastic stays in their stomachs and they die. Activity 2.9. Do a litter cleanup and a litter audit. You can audit litter by counting how many cans, bottles, papers and other things people throw. See how much rubbish can be recycled. Work in pairs to collect the litter, record it. Away. This will help you too. And put the litter into the bag. Leave the bag at a collection point for it to be taken away. Safety. Predict what will be the most common type of litter. Make a list of all the kinds of litter you found. Then add up how many items of each kind. You make a table to record your results. Present your results in a bar chart. Questions. You will need large dustbin bag, notepad and pencil, rubber gloves. Wear rubber gloves when picking up rubbish, and be careful of broken glass. Collected. 1. Did the evidence you collected in your audit support your predictions? 2. Compare the patterns in the results from everyone in the class. Do any audits not fit the pattern? Can you explain this? 3. Start an anti-litter campaign. Make posters to put up around your school. What you have learnt. We can care for the environment by conserving water and energy. We can stop littering to help to care for the environment. Talk about it. What can you do in your community to stop littering? 2. Check your progress. 1. Write a list of the words in column A. Choose the correct meaning for each word from column B. Write the correct meaning beside each word. Column A. Column B. A place where plant and animals live together. 2. Recycle. Habitat. A feeding relationship between plants and animals. Nutrient. Global warming. Food chain. To reprocess something so that it can be used again, another name for a food. The worldwide increase in temperature. Look at the picture below. 3. Identify the following in the picture. Are the source of energy B2 producers. C4 consumers. D a predator and its prey. In the picture, what would happen if all the insects disappeared? B. The sun stopped shining forever. 4. Write these food chains so that the living things are in the correct order. A lion, right pointing arrow, grass, right pointing arrow, wildebeest. B. Plankton, seagull, right pointing arrow, fish. C. Beetle, lizard, seeds, right pointing arrow, hawk. 5. 6. D. Shark, plankton, right pointing arrow, small fish, right pointing arrow, seal. Choose 3 predators and their prey from the living things in 4. Explain how. A. Deforestation helps to cause global warming. B. Frogs can be killed by acid rain. 7. Describe how each of these things can be recycled or reused.